Welcome back to First Edition. As we learn details of today's provincial budget, it may be a good time to look at the state of our own finances. We're here to discuss why this is so difficult for many of us, yet causes us so much stress, is Dr. Janine Hubbard. In this week's edition of Get Psyched with Dr. Janine, it is great to see you again.
Oh, it's so nice to be back.
So why do so many of us have difficulty talking about personal finances, even with ourselves?
It is amazing the stigma, the shame, the judgment that we all seem to feel goes along with talking about our personal finances. I think a lot of us raised in a society where you didn't talk about finances. That was considered very rude. There are some fascinating studies that have looked at, for example, people are, get this, 7 times more likely to talk to a stranger about their sex lives than they are about their finances. Another one looked and said 43% of the people they surveyed didn't know what their partner or spouse made as an income. This is something. Also, there was a huge percentage, about a third of people actually didn't know what their own savings or investments looked like. So it's something that we don't talk about to others, but we also, quite frankly, don't talk to ourselves about it nearly enough.
Why not?
Well, like I say, there is that built-in stigma and shame that comes along with it. But we also know this year, probably more than ever, people are feeling the financial crunch, and through no fault of their own. But what we've found is, again, I had a study that looked at about half of Canadians said that they had lost sleep over worrying about finances. We've seen that chronic worries about finances specifically can cause things like increase in heart attacks, increase in blood pressure, can lead to anxiety, depression, increased substance use, and a biggie, it can really have an impact on relationships, and is actually one of the #1 features that often goes into divorce, because we have a lot of values and judgment that are tied, and a lot of emotions that are tied up in our financial status.
Yet we can watch the budget and we can talk about the state of the province's economy, and we feel uncomfortable talking about our own. So what can we do about this? How can we change it?
First thing is start talking to yourself. Take a really honest appraisal. Listen, it's tax time. You gotta take an honest look at it right now. So use that as an excuse. It may be in some cases that you kind of look and go, okay, actually, yeah, I'm still paying off some Christmas bills, but things are actually not as bad as I thought. It might be oh, you know what, because of some of the recent cost of living increases, maybe I have to make some adjustments here or there. It could be I really got to get better control over this. Maybe I need to set up a financial, like a book club or a buddy, someone that you're willing to start that discussion with. And if needed, please know that this is not something that should be keeping you up at night, that there are professional supports and services out there to help relieve some of that stress. Because, listen, we have enough things going on in life. This is one that if you're a little bit honest with yourself, honest with your partner, let's start that conversation.
I do want to ask you one question.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you can answer this. Why aren't we talking about our finances with our spouse? Why don't we know how much our partner makes for a living?
Well, again, I think it comes down to some of those values around, what are they spending their money on? Or, maybe it's being spent on things that aren't of value to you, or that you perhaps don't appreciate. Like I say, if we can't even be honest with ourselves about how much we're spending on different things, sometimes that admission around the spouse, and sometimes it's simply that most of us were taught that's a really impolite question to ask. That's not something you ask people about. And somehow that has continued to be an ingrained value and judgment and stigma in our society. So listen, if the province can talk about the finances, we can do it too.
All right, Dr. Janine Hubbard, thank you so much for this.
Thanks, Tony.